Second on the forecast, to my right, we have Alex himself. Alex P., how you doing?
Hello, everyone.
And to my left, we have Garrett G. Garrett G. Garrett W., how you doing?
I'm swell.
Imagine if your name was Garrett. You want to go that route? Two first names?
My two first names?
Yeah, just go Garrett.
Go, Garrett.
That's what I'm going to call you from now on, just so I remember your name. I'm talking about the comics coming out for January 17th, 2018. This is Wednesday Comics Forecast. We were just talking about before the show started here, Dark Horse Comics. Once again, all they have is Jenny Finn, number 3 of 4. It's the only thing they got coming out this week. Hope you're doing okay, Dark Horse. I know what's going on here. Nothing last week. This week, one comic. I don't know what happened. Ever since Hellboy went away. DC Comics, here we go. Batman number 39. This is Tom King, Joel Jones on art. This is Super Friends Part 3. We didn't have, we waited a whole another 2 weeks for this, right?
Yeah, because did you guys read 38? I didn't read 38 yet.
Wait, oh no, I haven't yet. I totally forgot about it. But at this point, it's like, I feel like I'm caught up in this, right? If I read the...
Yeah, see, I don't think you need to read 38. I would assume 39 just takes place from 37, so you're fine.
I know, but I feel like Tom King still plants some seeds in those kind of issues so they take place coming up. So you probably still have to read it.
I'll also read it, but I know if I just for the show, for our review's sake, if I'm behind in that issue, I might just read this one first. You know what I mean? Get it out of order. Read this one, and then I'll go back and read that one.
I guess I would still, in all honesty, read both before we talked about anything.
That's because you guys are crazy. That's why.
No, because I got to go back and read it anyway, so why not just read it then and be done with it? Boom.
I'm looking forward to this. Joelle Jones. She didn't do the art on the first couple arcs, right? That was Clayman. So yes. This is Joelle Jones, who we enjoyed from that Catwoman Talia arc. So looking forward to it, Alex. You put Joelle on your list. One of the best of the year, you said.
I did. I didn't actually know she was doing this, so I'm even more excited about this issue.
I'm excited that I'm going to have a good Wonder Woman book, so that'll be nice.
I know Tom King's been teasing it on his Instagram and Twitter, Joelle's art, and I just saw it right away and was like, can we get Joelle on a Wonder Woman book? Like, what's going on here? I would love, that's what needs to happen. I told you, there's so many good female creatives. Joelle Jones on art, and then also who else? Well, I'm sorry, what's her name? You mentioned last week that you wanted her on a Wonder Woman book.
Kelly Thompson?
No, when I said if Gail Simone's writing, you said for art you would pick.
Jenny Frischen.
Yes. Have her rotating those two, maybe in Burlesque heavily, and you have some strong female writers. I don't know why we're talking about Wonder Woman. It's not even on this list. I bet I've been ranting about that.
But she's on the cover.
But I'm looking forward to this. Like you said, I think this is going to be a good Wonder Woman story, and this might make me happy for that story, and then also make me sad because I know she's not having a good run with her book right now. Batman TMNT number 2, number 3. A lot of numbers here. On the cover here, I see Bebop and Rocksteady and Bane. Bane's head looks like it's 2 miles wide. And then this is James Tynion and Freddie Williams II. How's the series been so far, Alex?
You know, it's actually pretty good. I got caught up on it. Bane is the big bad guy, and he's in New York City. He's brought together the Foot Clan, actually beat the shit out of the Foot Clan, and then Bebop and Rocksteady are going to go fight him, and Bane tells them to bow or he'll break them, and they bowed. So now Bane's got some big burly henchmen.
Garrett, you been enjoying
this?
Good.
I'm excited for this.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm excited for this book to come out. Now that I'm caught up, it was pretty good.
I have not read issue 2, but I really enjoyed issue 1. Issue 1 was really great, so I'm excited to see where the series goes.
Is this as good as the last one or better than the last one?
You know, to me, they have the same burn.
Really? But how many times have you used Ra's al Ghul as a main villain? I mean, come on. This is at least fresh.
Oh, I guess I think Bane gets used a lot too. So does Raish. Raish at least made sense to me to team up with Shredder, where Bane does make sense to team up with Bebop Rocksteady. So in their own world, they make perfect sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I've heard it's good. It's fun. So I mean, what else can you ask for when you see Batman and TMNT together? Is at least if it's fun, then it's enough, right?
Yes.
Batwoman number 11. This is Kate Perkins and Scott Galeski. I did check because I was curious. I was like, oh, what happened to Margaret Bennett? She just started doing this book on her own. She is on the next issue. It looks like this might just be a one-shot because the next one didn't mention Professor Pig at all. So we have Professor Pig showing up, paging him. That cover looks great. Who else is still in this book with me?
I'm still getting it.
All right, you looking forward to this still? Garrett, I hear your voice sounds like you're mad that you're still on it.
No, I'm not mad at myself. Hard to be mad at myself. I was going to drop this, but the concept looked good. I looked up the new artist for this issue, and it looks good. But that was also thrown off by the fact that Margaret Bennett wasn't doing this issue. But then I looked at future solicits, and she's coming back. So I'm still going to stay on it, pending the artist that we get back with number 12. So concept looks good. I love Professor Pig. Like, I've read most things that he's been in since Grant Morrison created him. So excited to see what happens.
Alex, what do you think?
I'm excited for Professor Pig to be in it. I've read a few things with him in it. I am not actually caught up on Batwoman, though, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. I want to get it. But this is one of those books that I've been waiting for it to find its right foothold in the supernatural-ish kind of stuff that she deals with. So maybe my thing is that I think she always does supernatural things. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's just a hero now.
Yeah, before the supernatural arc in New 52, she really didn't do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, It just depends by her. I mean, she has, because of her sister and stuff like that, she has done it before, but it's not necessarily like her thing. It's not like she's on Justice League Dark, yeah.
So now I was under the interpretation from and I realized New 52, Pig with a grain of salt. I thought that's what she did, was she was more of the darker supernatural type of thing, but
she's more of and you've seen this in Detective Comics, she's more like the militarized kind of Batman, like, because her dad trained her and that's how she runs her ship, so that's kind of how she is. And so the stories can be that way, like I said, because of her sister and all that kind of backstory, but I don't remember Greg Rucka's story being that way. So damage number 1. This is Robert Venditti, Tony S. Daniel, Danny Mankey, tasked as the government's own living, breathing, ticking time bomb. Ethan retains no control when the monster takes over. Cheaper than a nuclear warhead, twice as effective. Ethan fights to rein in the damage he unleashes when the beast inside him springs free for 1 hour a day. With everyone around him in danger, Ethan struggles to contain the damage he inflicts on the DC universe. Garrett, you getting Hulk number 1 here?
Yeah, I definitely am, because you know what? I'm not getting it from Marvel. I'm getting teenage, cool, I have Hulk powers, so I'm rather have Bruce Banner like type of hero where he's afraid of the damage that he can do. I'm super excited for this, and the whole Dark Knight spinoff. Basically, that's the Marvel universe and the DC universe, so let's go. I'm pumped.
I assume that's, like you said, it's kind of like the original concept for Hulk. And I do think that's the more interesting part of the story, is that, like it says here, he doesn't want to be this person. For an hour a day, he is this person. He's trying to rein in the damage that he's keeping. And I think that's an interesting take on Hulk. Like, imagine if Bruce Banner's only Hulk for an hour a day, and he knows for an hour today I'm going to be the Hulk. How can I rein this in? And that's almost the most interesting part, right? Because it's Bruce Banner versus the Hulk, and that's what the story's always been. And like you said, when it went to animated, and like I'll be 100% honest, I didn't give it enough fair shake, so I don't actually know how the story went, but I did, from my periph, see how that Amadeus Cho thing went, and it kind of seemed like he was having more fun with it, like he was happy he was the Hulk. And I just not into that kind of story. So you'll get back to basics, and I think that's what this line's doing, right?
Yep.
So with like some Marvel here, it does seem like it's like, oh, Marvel's not doing anything with these heroes. This is like legacy before legacy, like Hulk, and there's one coming up about what Sideways is it called? That's like
Spider-Man. He's kind of like Spider-Man, yeah.
And then we have the Terrifics coming up, which is like the Fantastic Four. So this is the first one in that line, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
First.
Hope it's good. I hope that line's good. This is the artist's first line when they're promoting all this kind of stuff, and when it's on the solicit, not the solicit, but when DC's promoting it, they're promoting it as Tony S. Daniels' next book, and then all these books are about the artist first. So I'm excited, and this I believe is a direct message to Marvel again after Marvel said that no artists sell books, and DC's like, well, we're going to release a whole line that is about the artist. So hopefully, I mean, this is going to prove Marvel right or wrong, and that's going to people out there are going to be saying, are you going to get these books because they have great art, and are you going to support these artists? So we'll see.
Right, that's the thing. It's like, when you have a wheelhouse, that's what DC is championing on over Marvel. I mean, it's just you have this that you can provide for your fans, and you're just choosing not to because you want to tell new stories, which is fair. But some of us like those other stories, those other concepts. There's a reason they were successful. So DC's taking advantage of Marvel's disadvantage.
Yeah, and I looked at the some of these concepts don't really well, actually, most of these concepts do sell it for me. If I'm going to be honest, it's mostly because I'm looking not to get so many books right now. That's the reason why I'm not going to pick them up. I will read these. Like, they'll go on Hoopla, so I'll read these. But we're looking at all the artists for these books, and all of them are solid. So, for me, at least, like, these books, when I look at the artists, be like, oh, yeah, I would read it to see that art. So,
and they're only $2.99.
Oh, are they? Oh, I might pick it up then, just to try.
Draw on the line at $2.99.
Injustice 2, number 18. This is Tom Taylor and who's this artist? Just one name? Zeramanico? Eradicator's Attack. Garrett, how's this Injustice 2 been?
It's really good. Again, I've said this every time. It's, DC universe with no rules, no one's safe, anyone could die at a moment's notice. A lot of...
So what's going on in the book?
It seemed like the plot... I can't say without spoiling things.
Dude, spoil the shit out of this book, because no offense, I'm not interested in reading this book. There's nothing that's pulling me in. Yeah, it's DC, no rules.
Because if I literally say anything... Because, okay, your favorite heroes can die. But okay. We said on the forecast we don't do spoilers, so I'm not going to do spoilers. What?
Is Batman dead yet?
I'm not going to tell you. That ruins... It's not even a forecast then. It's basically just spoilers.
To be fair,
spoiler cast.
Sometimes forecasts are wrong.
Hey, Garrett.
Just facts then.
Garrett, anybody that wants to read Justice 2, skip out in the next 10 seconds. Tell me the last person that died. Hurry up.
Last person that died, Steve Trevor, that I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about him.
Wonder Woman lassoed his head off.
Well, that's more interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's good.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're going to be dying of a coughing attack.
So I'm sorry I spoiled it, but just to give the middle finger to fucking Alex and Marvin.
Well, hey, I'm just telling you that every time you talk about it, you tell us that
because I don't want to spoil the story.
Yeah, but you got to give our listeners a reason to want to get it. As of right now,
so I'll spoil Deadly Class like I got told not to last time.
Do it.
No, it's the forecast. During our show, I'll spoil the shit out of it.
That little nugget though, Garrett, made me want to read it. So anybody that wants anybody that doesn't care, listen to that little spoiler and get the book. Actually, that is really me. Like when you say no rules, still I don't know. For me, that was just it. It's not enough for me to get it, but then when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of what's happening in Michael Cray right now. It's like a different take on the DC universe, where sometimes your favorite heroes are murderers or villains or criminal. They're just different, and some of your heroes are the same, but they have plot lines that are from the Silver Age or the Bronze Age. It's basically Tom Taylor's and Brian Bucciolato's toy box. They can do whatever the hell they want.
How's the art? Because I remember in Injustice this year, the first series, the art was always hit and miss for me.
Yeah, the art does switch around quite a bit, but sometimes there's a great artist, sometimes there's weak artists. So I don't think it's more of an artist situation. Don't go to it if you're looking for the best art in the world. More of story. Story is insanely good in this. Speaking of a good story, Justice League number 37. This is Christopher Priest and Pete Woods. Justice Lost Part 4.
as well, you've been reading it. That's a long solicit. So, but if you've been reading it, I think this is exactly what I want out of a Justice League book, and I think it's different enough that it's going to keep me on it for a second. What about you two? You two were more hesitant. Alex, I know you jumped in last second. What do you think?
It's been good. Like when I read it, I feel satisfied, but I'm also like, this is one of those books that I think I'm always on I could drop it, but if we're going to talk about it, then it's worth my time to get it.
What do you think, Garrett?
I've actually been loving it. I think this is the Justice League book that I've been always wanting to read. I mean, Jeff Johns did a good job in the New 52, but I still think it was more focused on Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, where I think Christopher Priest is kicking ass, like telling this as a team book. It's not just focused on the Trinity. There's other characters that can be in the spotlight and carry their own weight, because that's why it's Justice League, not just the Trinity starring Flash, Green Lantern, and Cyborg.
I really do think if you're interested in DC and interested in Justice League, like, hey, I want to get a DC book, but you're not sure like which hero you would like, and you want to get like a Justice League book would be one that you would get, and then you can gravitate towards a character and see which one you like. I do think now the last 4 issues, like, you would jump in now. I think it is, especially since Rebirth. I think it's the strongest it's been. So if you're going to jump in Justice League, now's the time. If you were interested at all, at any time, right now, it's a good time. Hey, Alex, I'm going to make a little, hold on, we'll see. Nightwing number 37. This is Sam Humphries, Klaus Johnson. Jorge Jimenez on that cover. It looks amazing, that cover.
Yeah,
The Untouchable is ruthless. Nightwing's investigation leads him to a former costume crime fighter, an ally, in a special flashback issue illustrated by superstar artist Klaus Johnson. Dick Grayson will revisit his time as Robin and see if his past mistakes are the key to the mystery he must resolve today. Little inside baseball for anybody listening. We were going to review this book this week, and I told Alex, I was like, I didn't really have nothing to say about it. I didn't know it was a flashback issue and Klaus Johnson was going to be doing the art. So I would be okay talking about this issue if you guys wanted to.
We can switch back. I don't care.
I thought it was just going to be a random issue, but this sounds pretty great. That art, Klaus Johnson's amazing. The concept of seeing him as Robin again and Sam Humphries like doing a Robin story. I didn't know that sounds great.
I already finalized that fucking list. So
it wasn't locked in. All I saw was a flame. So I'd switch it back to Nightwing. I didn't know Klaus Johnson was doing the art either.
To be fair, I don't look at these things. I just put out a list for you guys going, hey, we haven't talked about it.
Okay, Nightwing.
I don't know.
Nightwing
so,
instead of
fuck
Damage.
you guys.
How good? I mean, Klaus is... Go ahead. Yeah, complete.
They go JL then, so you can still talk about Damage, because Damage is going to be new.
Okay, we do that.
Okay, we do that. That's a little inside baseball. So listen to the show this Sunday if you want to hear more about Damage and Nightwing. How good is Jorge Jimenez? I mean, Klaus Johnson we know is good, but look at that cover, and the style of that Robin, the style of Nightwing, I was looking at this being like, is Jorge, like, I know you're doing Superman, but how about we do some Nightwing? Look at that. It looks so good.
Great.
I'm excited for this. Sam Humphries has been doing good on this. And I told, the little inside baseball again, Alex said, hey, you want to read Nightwing? I said, it's been great, but I don't know. It's one of those books for me, at least, that it's what I wanted and it's great, but nothing really happens in it. It's great in a way that it's like always a solid 8 for me. You know what I mean? So, it's never anything where it's going to blow my mind. But Sam, it's been doing good work. I mean, that's the Nightwing that I want to see. So, like what I was talking about before, with Justice League, if you've been looking to get on it, now's the time. Nightwing, I think, go back and get the last couple issues. Sam Humphries' run, I think, is really great, and you should jump on if you're interested in Nightwing at all.
I think the nice thing with this Nightwing is that it's more lighthearted. At least I've only read 35, but the way I read it was a lot lighter, less Bruce.
Hey, you might cry in the next issue,
which is nice.
I mean,
Papa doesn't cry.
I'm 100 on that too.
Alex, strongest there is.
When you read that, let me know that you got at least choked up about it.
Which one on 36?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be reading it for the show.
Super Sons 12. This is Sons of Tomorrow finale. The epilogue. Superman and Robin must face the repercussions of the event of Super Sons of Tomorrow, and how the emotional toll will affect their relationship with each other, their parents, and the Teen Titans. Meanwhile, the past rears its ugly head to haunt Damian Wayne in the form of his mother, Talia al Ghul. This is Peter J. Tomasi, Jorge Jimenez, who we were just talking about, doing the artist one. Cover by Jalewski Kamkoli. Wait, this is the epilogue, so obviously the main story's over. Alex, I know you were like saying it was okay. How's this story been?
I haven't read a single issue of it.
Oh, you haven't?
So I don't know who told you that I think it's good, but I haven't.
You know what?
I wanted to wait until all 5
I'm
came
thinking
out.
I'm thinking of Action Comics. That's what I'm thinking of. But Garrett, you been keeping along with this?
I actually just read issue 1 this morning because it came out so quickly that I'm like not caught up. I thought issue 1 was great. Damian and John weren't even in it. It was all about. It was only Batman and Superman that were in that issue, and I thought it was awesome. Jorge Jimenez did the art with another artist for part 1, and it actually got me amped for the rest of the story, so I'm super pumped to keep reading it and see what happens next.
So now that makes me excited to read this book.
Well, there's one person I want to bring up. I'll do it after the show, if I say that.
Whoa, no, spoilers, because I haven't read it yet.
Not on the show, though.
Superman number 39. This is Peter J. Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, Barry Kitson, and Chris Burnham on the cover. What would it be like to fly with a Man of Steel? Some very special children find out as Superman fulfills some unique wishes. It sounds like they're done with all their crossovers, at least for now. So I'll be getting this issue, and it sounds like the concept of this issue. I also might
make Marvin cry.
It'll make a problem. It has to do with kids, and I'm already done, halfway done reading the synopsis. You're looking at it, it'll break down right now. But Barry,
look at that cover. Look at that cover by Chris Burnham.
But also to say Barry's a good artist too. DC's breaking it out with these veteran artists that are pretty good. So we'll see how it is. I'm excited to jump back in Superman. I've been missing my Superman ever since they did all those crossovers. I picked up an issue, so I finally can jump back in. So we'll see. You know what I noticed also, by the way, since it's next on the list, we're not getting it anymore, but I noticed at Trinity number 17 that they've moved to James Robinson as the writer. And this week it is. I'm just hoping that maybe. Never mind. I was gonna say I hope Wonder Woman's better than that story, but probably not.
Well, luckily they have Patrick Zurcher as the artist because he did the end of the New 52 with Benjamin Percy, and that art's pretty good, but not enough to save that book. Especially if James Robinson's on it. Oh, James
that variant cover looks good.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, by the way, Trinity is probably the biggest blunder by Rebirth. And I don't think it's really DC or Francis Manipul's fault because as we learned, Francis Manipul has been having some personal things going on. So I think it was a change that they weren't expecting. But still, I think like Trinity, they're treating it now like it's like a fill-in thing. It really should have a stronger central team. So I don't know. Maybe they could use Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This, to me, Trinity is one of those books that you need to have one of your strongest writers on, your strongest artist on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Three characters that this whole world is created around them with their supporting cast who've now become actually bigger deals like Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lanterns.
That's what I mean.
You got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and you're not giving them the respect they deserve in their own book at the team. That's disappointing.
It feels like that they're just like, who's available? And James Robinson's available to write right now, so he's on it. Because there wasn't even like any big announcement. Like when he took over Wonder Woman, there's press releases. There was like, hey, James Robinson's taking over on this issue. So obviously, right now, it's just like, hey, who can do this right now? So, and before it was Colin Bunn, right? And then I think there's somebody else in between those two.
Rob Williams did some
did some, yeah. So it feels like right now it's just who is available, who can do them, who can get these out in time. But it really should be like, take a second, you do these issues where you're filling in, but then there really should be an announcement soon, I would hope, that they would be like, hey, these people are taking over this book and like this is their book now. If it's not going to be Francis Manipul, I mean, maybe he's coming back to it. I know he had some things going on, so maybe they're waiting on him to come back or something. I'm not sure.
Bring Gail Simone back in, DC. I tell you what.
Oh, buddy.
That woman could sell you some books.
Oh,
mostly from me.
Speaking of Gail Simone, Wonder Woman Conan number 5. This is Gail Simone, Matt Ryan. Two things I want to say about this. One, Alex, how's this book going? But before you answer that, Marvel just got the rights back to Conan. So Conan will be coming to Marvel. So enjoy this while you can, because no more. There will not be a Wonder Woman Conan 2.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll even make. I'm sure they won't make reference to him going to Marvel at the end of the series.
I'm sure Gail wrote them way before they did any of that kind of stuff.
I suppose. The book's been good. I'm actually one issue behind. But I tell you what, I love the way Gail Simone writes these characters. She is so good about giving you the backstory as you're working on to the present story. And I think this is the big reason why I want her to write Wonder Woman, is that I'm reading this, and I had been reading Red Sonja, where Jenny Frischen was on doing the art. And I'm just like, bring that team back together. Get them on a Wonder Woman book. She knows how to write Amazons. Do it.
So Conan was with Dark Horse, and Marvel has him now, which is that's the second thing they stolen from them. Star Wars first, obviously Star Wars was Disney's, but so when they bought him out, they went over to Marvel. I really do like Conan. I used to read the Dark Horse Conan series when Brian Wood was writing it, so I am interested to read this when it's completed, when it's on Hoopla, and I'll read it. So it's nice to hear that Wonder Woman, at least in the story, is pretty great. So looking forward to it. IDW Publishing, nothing really coming out here that we get that we can comment on. But if you're looking to get some Star Wars books, there's two different ones: Force of Destiny, Hera, and Star Wars Adventures number 6.
It's not canon. Nobody cares.
Garrett loves that book. He says that you have to sometimes embrace non-canon stories. And this one is...
it's a waste of time.
So get those if you want to read some Star Wars books. Image Comics, Angelic number 5. This is Simon Spurster and Casper. Sorry, Casper, I never say your last name because I can't pronounce it. Airs and Graces, part 5. Alex, how's Angelic been?
Really good. The monk girl, she's hard to understand because she doesn't speak perfect English, but it's actually pretty good. The art is spectacular. But much like when I was reading Crosswind with Garrett, I'm thinking this book is only going to be 6 issues long. And I know you're going to look it up and tell me, yes, it's true. But I don't know if Spurrier has written, at least the ones I've gotten personally, has written more than 6 issues for a book. That Cry Havoc only came out with 6 issues. Was it Six Gun Gorilla? It was only 6 issues long. I'm wondering if this book is going to be wrapping up here soon. But anyway, it's been great for what I've read so far. And I am all caught up.
Alex, I did look it up. And issue 6 says, as the great war of monks and mans reaches its climax, Quora finally gets the answers for all her ass and must pick a side at last. And that is the last issue that there's any kind of information on. So I think it is 6.
Oh.
Days of Hate, number 1 of 12. This is Alice Scott, Tom Muller on art. Tom Muller on the cover. We have Danielle Zazid. Oh, sorry, I can't see your last name, Daniel. On art, series premiere, the United States of America 2022. The lost of... Sorry, Siri... Something I just said. Siri thought I said, hey, Siri, and so she popped up on my thing.
Or you leaned on the tablet.
No, it's not the tablet. It's my phone. I'm holding my phone in my hand. The United States of America 2022, the loss that ripped them apart drove one into the arms of the police state and the other towards the guerrilla war against white supremacy. Now they meet again. The story of war. I'm really interested in this. That design and that cover is amazing. I looked at the art. It's a style that I can get into. Alice Codd, you guys would say it's been killing it on Generation Gone. And
absolutely,
it sounds like a pure politics book. It doesn't take place. It takes place in the future, but not too far in the future. It's enough to be like, hey, this is our world now, but like it's a little bit in the future to get some perspective on what's happening now and how it's going to affect America. I'm really looking forward to this book. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
What'd you say, Alex?
Awesome. I said the exact same
We just
thing
become
that
best
Garrett
friends.
did. I am looking forward to it. I think part of it is that it's actually I'm not a big political person, but I'm excited to get a different flair for a book. I'm not always about the action heroes. Not all about that science fiction because love it. Space number one. I am actually looking forward to something that's just kind of like Royal City as a book about more real life things. So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited Al Scott is committed to a 12-issue book because it's typically when he's not held accountable to anything that his books go awful. They get bad.
Talking about you, Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf. Wolf is right. So definitely excited. Generation Gone was incredible. So I know that was a.
What do you mean was? Is it over?
Well, volume
First
1
arc is.
Oh, okay.
So definitely excited for Days of Hate, and then eventually Generation Gone Volume 2.
Hey, Alex, did you get Evolution?
No.
Oh, okay, I bet you did. It's a cool cover, though. But
I talked about getting it with you because I thought you were going to get it, and then you didn't get it, so I didn't get it.
The Further Adventures of Nick Wilson. This is Eddie Korensky, Mark Andreyko, Steve Sadowski, Pete Wood's on the cover. For a few years in his early 20s, Nick Wilson had superpowers and all the acclaim associated with them. But when those powers vanished, so did his fame, sending him from national hero to late-night punchline. By the time we pick up the story, he is yet 30 and barely an answer in a trivia contest. Faced with the life in the rearview mirror, full of lost powers, faded glory, former enemies, ex-girlfriends, and forgotten grudges, Nick struggles to figure out who he is today. Packing on an extra 20 pounds and peering through the medical marijuana haze, he's trying to build a future with all that's left is just a man who hasn't been super for a very long time. These are the Further Adventures of Nick Wilson. This book really sounds interesting to me. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow and see how it is. It sounds like it's an interesting concept. We always get these kind of stories like Watchmen, where it's these superheroes that are done with being superheroes. They chose to retire. But this is one where a guy had powers for a little bit, and then now he doesn't have powers anymore. And it's kind of like his life went to shit. And I'm going to find it interesting, like the hero and is down in the dumps, but he's still like young enough that like he could have a life, but maybe he's like, he's trying to deal with it. So it does sound like it's going to be a cool book. What do you guys think?
I think I'll give it a try. I think it looks like an interesting concept, and
also it's a 105, so it's just a miniseries. So
yeah, I think that'll be fun, especially if it's from an Eisner Award-winning team. I mean, it's probably going to be a good story, so why not?
It kind of there was a book like that came out last year, Airboy, by James Robinson. So, and I heard that was good, and it kind of sounds like that a little bit. But I'm almost interested in seeing books that take a concept that we're used to, superhero genre, and says, well, what about this? Like, what if somebody had powers and they lost them? How would their life be? So, and it sounds like go ahead.
I don't know if I can do James Robinson anymore.
Okay.
We're having a split up.
I heard Airboy was great. So
yeah, I know, but he's doing Wonder Woman right now. It's good.
Yeah, but you can't judge a writer based on something he's given to write rather than something he chose to write.
True.
That's what I mean. Like that Airboy thing's his thing. So I'm just, my critique on Wonder Woman is not that he's a bad writer. It's just that he's not doing anything exciting with it. And that might just be him. Like he got the Wonder Woman job, and maybe he doesn't really have an idea for it. So we'll see. I don't know. Ice Cream Man #1. This is W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Moranzo on the art. I'm not going to read this whole solicit, but it sounds like, if you read it here, Ice Cream Man is a genre-defying comic book series featuring desperate one-shot tales of sorrow, wonder, and redemption. Each installment features its own cast of strange characters dealing with their own special Sunday of suffering. It sounds like this is like an anthology book, almost like a Twilight Zone kind of book, where each issue will be like a one-shot story, where it's going to be just a story about whatever. The Ice Cream Man's in each story, and how So I think I'm going to pick up this first issue and see. I really want to get like an anthology type of book, so maybe this might be one I can get. You guys interested in Ice Cream Man?
I've been planning on getting this one as well, because I like the concept of like interwoven stories that are separate. You know,
yeah. That's
like, but obviously the Ice Cream Man is going to be the one person that's going to be in, like you said, it's in the periphery. He'll be the one thing connecting them all, even though they're totally separate stories. So I'm excited. That one I was more like that Nick one you told me about. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. This one I was planning on getting because like I like the concept. I think that's, and it could be a mini. I hope it's an ongoing. So I think that's more exciting, but we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't say what it is, but I guess we'll see. But it does sound like.
And one of the artists is from Generation Gone, Crystal Halloran.
Oh. I don't think I ever brought it up on the show, but one of my favorite shows of all time is Twilight Zone. So anytime there's something that's like an anthology TV series or book, I'm in. I'll at least to try it and see what kind of stories we get. So I'll try out that one. Kill or Be Killed number 15. This is Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, and Betty Brewmeister on colors. The next arc of Brubaker and Phillips' best-selling series is back. Series is a blockbuster. Dylan is forced to confront the reality of his violent actions and his sanity, and nothing will ever be the same again. On the cover, he's in a straitjacket. Alex, looking forward to Kill Be Killed number 15.
I am ready to dip my foot back in Kill or Be Killed.
Is this the fourth arc?
I don't remember what happened. I don't know what to expect. What?
Is this the fourth arc?
I believe so.
Okay.
Fourth or fifth, I can't remember.
I think it's the fourth.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the second arc was the weird one, then we got back into it being really good.
Is the last thing that happened...
I love this cover.
He killed everybody, right? That was the last thing that happened?
He killed the Russians, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he kills the boss, doesn't he?
Yeah, he kills the boss. That's what he did. And then, yeah, I don't remember what was the cliffhanger? Oh, he found out his brother saw the demon? Yeah, you're right. It's been a while. How long? 2 months? 1 month?
I think it's only been 2, because I think we talked about it not too long ago.
I'm going to have to go back and give myself a refresher. I don't remember how that last one ended. But the trade also comes out tomorrow. So, like, if you want to catch up on Kill or Be Killed, which I think we all recommend, you can buy 3 trades. That's why I was trying to figure out what arc it is. Buy 3 trades, get this issue, and you cut up. That's all you need. Or not even buy 3 trades. If you want on Hoopla, it's already on there tomorrow. So the day of it usually is on there. So catch up, get this issue. I think it's one of my favorite series, one of Image's best series. So Rumble number 2. This is John. Excuse me, John Akrudin and David Rubin on art. Soul Without Pity Part 2. Alex, confession. I'm gonna guess you're probably in the same boat. Because we had that month of not reading comics, we were doing those awards.
I'm already caught up on it.
Oh, you are? How was issue 1?
It was good. So this is it's a continuation without being a continuation type of thing. It's already characters that have been established. It is taking place after the first book, but it's been so long since that first book came out that I was almost lost and confused on what was going on. It was good. I tell you what, Rubin's art is top notch, though. Looks great.
Does it? Okay.
It does look great. And so I'm hoping this book does get a little bit more gas going in it, because it was a little bit of a slow burn the first issue. But I remember that the first book came out was kind of slow.
Yeah.
At least for me.
I remember you read actually the first 4 issues. Was it 4 or 5? One of the 2. And you were like, I don't really care for this book. And I actually, we traded some comics, and I took that arc off of you, and I gave you an arc of a different thing. I forgot what it was. And I read them, and then I read the next issue. Like, it came out, and I was like, hey, Alex, this thing gets good. And then I remember you went back and got them. And, yeah, we enjoyed that first series. It was good. It's an interesting concept. And it was always, the art was always amazing. It was the best looking book when it was coming out. I remember telling you that one time. And actually, we went to SuperCon 2016, I believe. And Phil Hester said, hey, the best looking book on the market right now is Rumble. And I turned to Alex. We were in that panel, and I was like, I told you, buddy. Rumble, there it is. I think actually that's what made you go back and get it. Is like it has great art and the story was good.
Well, I say you told me that it got better, and I was like, I trust that. So I had already read the first 5, then I actually did binge read like 1 through 10, and it was really good. I did enjoy it a lot. So
I remember that last run of issues was really strong.
There's a lot of action and a lot of just good storytelling. So
yeah, it was good.
I'm excited for this issue to come out.
Marvel Comics, All New Wolverine number 29. This is Tom Taylor and Juan Cabal, Orphan of X Part 5. Garrett, do you still get this book?
Yep, sure do.
How's it been going?
It's been really good. I think it dipped in quality for the legacy bit. Not a huge amount, but I mean, like from what we were getting for the first couple arcs from this series. But I think it's getting fresh again. I mean, there's more time for comedy, but there's some seriousness and a lot of cool action. So I've really been enjoying it. Tom Taylor's kicking butt on this book.
Alex, a question for you.
Yep.
Amazing Spider-Man, you still on it?
I am still on it.
Are you going to get Amazing Spider-Man Venom Inc. Omega number 1?
No.
This is very strange to me that they would do a legacy relaunch, of Amazing Spider-Man. Hey, jump on here. And then already it's been not too long, 2 months. And I believe they've had like 2 or 3 crossover issues.
Yeah.
So
it's ridiculous.
It's like already.
The first.
Go ahead.
First or second issue after Legacy. Then they had the stupid tie-in. And I'm getting Amazing Spider-Man just to get the last, 10 issues or whatever it is that Slott's writing.
Yeah.
But I give 2 shits about Venom Inc.
He's not even writing this issue, I don't think. It was Mike Costas and, let's see here. Oh, no, he is. Mike Costas and Dan Slott. But yeah, it seems weird to me that people's main complaint was, hey, too many crossovers, too many events. And they said, okay, we listened to you. We're going to do Legacy. And you've been 6 issues maybe? And
if that even.
And there's been 2 or 3 crossovers already within that. So you've had legit like 2 or 3 actual issues of Amazing Spider-Man to read. I just feel like, and I think we said it from the beginning, that Legacy thing was more just like a thing to put on books to be like, hey, we changed. And it really depended on who was writing that book to see if it actually changed. And it really depended on how big that book was. Like, I knew Amazing Spider-Man, I was just like, I don't think that's really going to change. But a book like Hawkeye or something like that is already doing its own thing and it's going to continue to do its own thing and can do something different. So you have to, I'm just saying, be careful. Like, when you're going to go at Legacy books, especially if you're like a new reader and you're trying to jump on Amazing Spider-Man, I don't think right now's the time. Wait until Dan Slott's off it. They'll do a whole new relaunch.
I would just wait until, I'm stupid. I'm going to continue to get them until it's done. But I would just wait
Dan Slott's been writing horrible stuff lately.
No. He's actually, since Legacy, the issues that were the Fall of Parker were actually really good. Yeah. Those 2 or 3 issues. But then when they got brought back into a tie-in, Spider-Man needs to do his own stuff. He doesn't need to be brought into something stupid. Yeah. And I get Venom is his bad guy, but let someone else take care of it. Don't drag that book back into another tie-in when it doesn't need to be in it.
No, I think Silver Surfer proves Dan Slott's not a bad writer because that book is actually pretty great. And also, I think the small times we've seen Dan Slott do Amazing Spider-Man on his own without having some sort of tie-in or doing some sort of event, Superior Spider-Man, for example, that whole thing was great. I really like that. So I just think it's not a matter of him being a bad writer. It's him writing stuff where he has to include, this kind of stuff. And also, like, when it's like a bigger event, I just feel like when it's, even if it's a Spider-Man only event, as a reader, if you're not interested in that event, then the whole thing's not going to matter. So it doesn't matter how good of a writer he is. I'm already checked out, being like, oh, I don't want to read this thing. So Doctor Strange 384. This is Donny Cates, Gabriel Walter, Michael Del Mundo on the cover. Hey, that's where Michael Del Mundo's been. Loki, Sorcerer Supreme Part 4. Garrett, you've been talking about Doctor Strange in our text messages. How's Doctor Strange going?
383 was incredible. It was so good. So I'm super excited for this issue. Have you guys both read 383, the issue before this?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to be a busy boy on Thursday night.
What about you, Marvin?
No, I haven't. Not. I got to catch up.
I'm telling you, I swear to God, there's one part that made me want to like bawl my eyes out, and there's another part that wanted me to like throw my fist in the air and be like, "Fuck yes!" So
I'm excited.
Very great issue.
We love Donny Cates, and I like the first issue. So I think also, if you're looking, like I said, it depends per book. This legacy thing wasn't a bad idea. It's just a matter of execution. So Doctor Strange, if you're looking for a Doctor Strange book, if you enjoy him in those movies, I think now's the time to jump on that. Especially with Walta art. Walta's a great artist. I like Walta. Mighty Thor number 703. This is Jason Aaron, Russell Dodderman. The Death of Mighty Thor Part 4. I've been enjoying this arc. I think Garrett maybe not so much.
Correct? I said I've been all for this arc.
Oh, have you? I thought you
said it was all before this I didn't like.
Oh, I thought you didn't like 701, you said.
Well, it started going back to its old tropes where like there wasn't a lot of content. It was just kind of like dragging its heels, but yeah. I was worried. I was nervous, but no, I think it's still been great.
I think that last issue was great.
Yeah, the last issue was really good. And like the cliffhanger I'm interested to know what happens next.
And whenever I see Dodderman's doing the art, I'm like, okay, that's going to be a good issue. It's whenever he has a random issue where he needs a fill-in, then I'm like, oh, I really wish Dodderman was doing that. Because I think as storytellers, Jason Aaron and Russell Dodderman together, turn out a great issue. So I'm looking forward to this issue a lot too. Speaking of Jason Aaron, speaking of Conan coming to Marvel, Jason Aaron posted that he took a picture of his bookshelf and it was like all these Conan books. And he's like, I've been a fan since I was 12 years old. So I'm pretty sure he has enough sway to be like, hey, let me write that Conan book. So you might see Conan from Jason Aaron. So that would be interesting. I would get that book. Hey, Garrett, you still getting the Spirits of Vengeance?
Yep.
Number 4 or 5. This is Victor Galish and David Balden. War at the Gates of Hell, Part 4. Dan Moore on cover. How's this been? You have Blade, Ghost Rider. Who else is in this book?
You got Hellstrom and I think it's Valkyrie. Is that her name? All right, now what's her name? It's not Enchantress. It's Hellstrom's sister. I can't think of her name.
Who's the devil chick? I can't remember what her name is. Like Santana or something like that.
Something like that. It's been really good. Even more so because like you get to see people you haven't seen in action in a while. Like Blade, where's he been? You haven't seen him in like forever. Then you get Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, and he's my favorite Ghost Rider. So if there was just a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider book, like I'm all in. But what's really nice about this is they're kind of setting we've seen the solicits and that the Doctor Strange Damnation's coming up, and it has most of these characters in that story. So I feel like this is a prequel to that or a prelude. So very excited to see what happens when this series ends and that mini starts.
That's Marvel Comics. We're looking at the Upside Down now, and I see Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but I lost it. Where is it at?
There's no Power Rangers.
I saw it on here. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 23. This is Kyle Higgins and Jonas Scarf. The Rangers discovered just how far their new allies are willing to go against Rita, but what is too far? We on this cover.
I guess I was only looking under Go-Go.
Hey, who's this guy on this cover? We have Tommy's dragon, and we have the Megazord. Who's the guy behind it? Who's that?
I believe it is there's an alternate Earth Tommy. It could be him.
Okay.
No. This is not it. This is the book where it's about the Power Rangers of the past interacting with the Power Rangers of the future. So the former Red Ranger of the 80s team, not like the 90s that we know them from the TV show, has been making their own Zords because once they've been separated from the morphing grid, she decided to make her own Megazord. So I'm guessing it's going to be basically there's going to be a fight. Obviously, you can see on the cover there where that Megazord that's created is going to go crazy or go haywire. So,
And how's it been?
it's been really good. I think this is a really cool idea of a story. Like I was telling you before, the generation that took place right before the current, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers generation, there's no such thing. You've never heard of it. And so this is new territory. But it's kind of cool, going through like the 80s and things like that. Like there's flashbacks and then how that experience affects the people that were Power Rangers during that time and how it affects the current Power Rangers. So fun concept.
Alex, do you get Red Sonja?
Did you go what?
Do you get Red Sonja?
No, nope. Okay. I dropped that a while ago.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, that's comics coming out tomorrow, which is January 17th, 2018. You know what? It's a nice grouping of books. I'm excited to see some new ones. Days of Hate, #1. Further Adventures of Nick Wilson and Ice Cream Man. So it's good. It's I would say it's a okay week. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of promise. We'll see how the execution is. Alex, what about that weather though? How's that weather looking?
That weather. You've probably had some frosty days. You may have seen on Twitter. Good days to sit inside and read, but it's going to start getting a little warmer. Still wear your coats. Drive safe out there. It's could be a little slick still. A little cold at night. Get those fireplaces rolling. Book-wise, kind of cloudy. There's some good sunny books out there, but I tell you what, there's some cloudy books out there too, so watch out.
You're saying partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy out there.
Did you say cloudy with a chance of comics?
I would say watch out for those paper cuts. Oof.
Garrett, Roadmaster himself, the rodeologist, how's it looking out there?
It's another week where there's like a lot of good content, just not a lot of great content. There are some great books, but not a whole chunk of them. So I think you got some time to get your coffee ready, take your time, get into the shop. Like Alex said, make sure you get a nice bundling on because you'll be plenty fine if you take your time, let your car warm up, get there. You should have your coffee still there.
If I'm gonna go get a specialty drink though, like an Americano latte. Something like that. What do you recommend, Garrett? I know you used to be a barista.
Between an Americano and
no,
a
just
latte?
whatever. I'm saying if I'm going to go out and order something, what do I order?
Well, my favorite is I can't do it. That's marketing for another company. What are you talking about?
Tell me the generic version. What's the generic?
Generic black coffee.
Okay, just black coffee.
Oh.
That's how.
Unless it's Starbucks, because that shit is nasty.
That's how fucking quick Garrett is. I tell him, come on, let's specialty drink. And he's on the line. He says, yes, black coffee.
If it's a specialty drink, mocha, baby. Get that chocolate in the mix.
Get the chocolate in the mist.
Mix.
Get the chocolate in the mix. That's what I meant. Thanks for keeping me honest.
Don't worry, 10-second Tom.
It's going to speed up. It's going to warm up the next couple of days in our town here. And I'm sure everybody around the world is saying, have you guys seen in Sioux Falls? That it's going to warm up to 45 on Friday. Do you believe it? Somebody told me that. Guess what? I got an email. Munich. The guy told me, hey, I heard it's going to be 45 there on Friday. I go, first off, I don't know who you are. Second of all, you're welcome. Yeah, I know. But it's going to be warm here. So we like to keep everybody educated on the weather in Sioux Falls because just in case, like if you're accidentally here, let's say you're on a flight, New York to L.A. They say, you know what? Let's make a stop in Sioux Falls. Nobody groans on that plane. They say, all right, let's make a pit stop. Everybody's ready for it. I mean, that plane flight's like, what, 4 or 6 hours? And they say, hey, I'm willing to stop for another hour, and I'm going to take those roads. Garrett told me about them roads. He says it's okay. I'm going to stop by. He says, hey, the best thing you can get, specialty coffee, is black coffee. And this meteorologist, Alex, told me I don't need a coat. It's going to be okay. And watch out for the paper cuts, though. They're wearing some protection there. And they roll into the Rainbow Comics and Cards, and they said, hey, I heard about this Justice League's been pretty good the last 4 issues. And I said, you're welcome. You're welcome.
There's a lot of shit that just got said to this one person.
Yeah, it sounds like you're shitting out your ass right now.
Whoa, watch the language, and I'm Marvin.
I I'm your meteorologist, Alex.
And I'm your car specialist or badass stunt driver, Garrett.
Interesting. Hey, hey everyone, stay warm and keep reading those books.